So, welcome to this November 2023, the processing of a weekly employee. And we look at, in terms of the copy that I've given to you, so there's also a link to it, page 7, where we speak to processing of payslips. That we use this particular icon, process payslips. Alternatively, you can find it under Process tab, and there's your payslips there. So it's Process Payslips. That's one way of using. And then with the introduction of icons, it's easily stated here. And all we need to do is click on it. Then we ensure that we are selecting the correct employee. In this case, by default, Mr. Prince Galani has come up. Be mindful that we are not working with the Mrs. Dube, Anna Dube. We are working with Mr. P or Prince Galani. And if you look at it, you have your medical aid code 6172 8000 8002. We have your other mandatory codes 8001 PAYE, 8045 UIF, 9045 UIF, 9100 OID, 915 or Skills Development Levy. Now, a quick look back to page 6 will, to refresh our memories, we will notice that there's print on payslip for pension code 9000, medical aid 9091, leave accrual 9120, and bonus accrual 9142. So those four will have to be captured under the default tab. So if we look at it on page 7, you will notice that there's mention of pension fund and medical aid. So 9,000, 9091, we don't need to worry about it. And UIF by default 9045 appears as mandatory. So the ones that we have to be careful with and ensure that we do it is codes 9120 and 9142, because just above there where it says 1.6, it says bonus accrual, site tax that's outdated, PAYE, UIF, travel expense benefit, OIT levies, and leave accrual must appear on all payslips. So certainly those ones appear. It's just the leave accrual and bonus accrual that we need to ensure that it's captured. Hence, on page 7, I stated at the bottom there the additional code of 6410, which is the pension fund fringe benefit, and 9120 and 9142, which is leave accrual value and bonus accrual, respectively. So ensure that those three codes are there. Now, in the question paper, those three codes do not appear on page 7. So you have to be mindful of that you have to add on these three codes. So I'm going to go right into it and look at using the planning that's given to you. I'm going to type in 5002 and I'm going to make sure that I'm in Galani again and I'm good. There it is, worked 40 hours because that is the work week. And we'll notice that now there is no amount that we worked with, and the rate per hour is not stated. Now, there's a way out of this here, and that is for us to use our calculator, our onboard calculator, which is the F9 or function 9 button, and you'll find the onboard calculator comes in here. If I key in 40 times 120, I'm going to get 4,800 rands. So all I need to do now is Under amount, I'll put in 4,800 because I've calculated it. Go one down, use the down arrow key. Do you want the changes to this transaction line to affect the current period's payslips? Certainly you will want it, so you'll make sure that you're going to click on yes. And then you'll notice that the tariff or rate per hour gets calculated by the computer. This code 5002 has been used. It's fine. It's given to us and we have to use it. So we move to overtime 5321, and there you will find that it's already calculated at the rate of 1.5. All we need to do is put in our 6 hours. And then we are fortunate enough that the computer or the app will calculate the figure. So we go to the next one now is the unit travel allowance, and always remember the two codes that go together with travel allowance. One is 5501, which is 800 rands, and we go down, click yes, and the code that I always mention to you, make sure that you do it, is 6026, the benefit part of it. That's taxable, and automatically it calculates the figure of 640 rands. So remember, these two, they go together. If one of them is missing, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have exceptions. You're going to have issues. That's going to delay processing and it's going to cause frustration. 5401, 6026, the travel allowance and the taxable travel portion, these two go together. The benefit and the income go together. If you don't have them, delete them. Move to the next one, which is 5660, and that one is the uniform allowance, and the amount there is going to be 250 rands. Going down, one down, and I make sure that I take my mouse, click the cursor to yes, click on it, and I'm done. The next one now is going to be 5720, and that amount there was 400 rands. Go down and make sure that I click select yes. So they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 codes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and my income has been captured, excuse me. We now move to the savings balance, which is 8170. And here we find that we have a monthly savings of 400 rands, and there was a balance of 1,600, which means that in the following week, the next period, which is the week ending on the 14th, period 2, you're going to find it'll be as balanced, it'll be 2,000. Look into it when we come to that. The next one is the loan, and that is 8150. Be mindful of this loan. You always going to now start off by entering the balance. Let us do this here by putting in the monthly figure. See what you get an error message. So you are forced to capture your balance as I had taught you initially. Go back again now to the amount, and now we can put it in 1,500. Now you go down, you will not experience a problem. So always start off when it comes to loans, you put in your balance first and then your amount. The computer will not allow you to put the amount and then the balance. So it's balance and then amount. We're good to go. Kanishi order, which is 8500. The planning does come in handy here, and it's 400 rands. Pay one down, and you're going to click yes. Staff Association 1002. Remember, we created that account, and that amount there is 75 rands. Going down. Now comes to the familiar ones that we know of, and that is the pension fund 7,000. Type in 7,000, and the amount there is 400 rands. We're going one down, and we're going to click yes. The employer 9, when we do it immediately, because these are compulsory. You must have them. It's print on payslip must be on, so good to go there. 300 rands. That's our pension captured, both employee deduction and employer contribution. 7,000, 9,000, 400, 300 rands. We're moving on to medical aid 8091, and For that one, you'll find that the amount is already stated there simply because if you recall, we had captured the amount under the setup transaction codes. Move to the next one, 89091. A 9091. And now, if you recall, that amount also was captured. Quick look just for the purposes of what I'm talking about is on page 6. You'll find that 8091 that we had entered 300 rands by under, and 9091 the medical aid fixed amount of 150 rands is there for us. So we've done there. We now have another condition. Yes, we're now ready to process it there. Travel out of town, and that code is 5205. It's called night out in this question paper. And he slept 4 nights, was refunded at a rate of 900 rands per month per night. So you do your calculator on board function F9, right, on board calculator, and you're going to take 4 times 900 rands, which is 3,600 rands. 4 times 900, 3,600. We good, and we can capture that amount there, 3600. There you go. Now going to the next one, and that is the yes no. That's where the question paper stops. But we need, because we are familiar with this here, we've understood how payroll works, we need to put these additional codes, which I'm going to now do for you. So 6410, one down, that's the benefit of it. And now put 9120, which is the leave accrual value. You don't have to worry about putting in any figures if there's nothing given to us. That's fine because it's right. And the bonus accrual, let me click yes. And I'm done with week 1. We're over with it. Right. We then click save. Once we've saved it now, we do our normal. We will now close it. We will do our payroll run. Ignore that. Click next until our text gets finalized. Perform final calculations and payslip printing simultaneously. Click voter and be selecting just Prince Kalani. You see how accurate things are, because there's no Mrs. Dubé here simply because she's not eligible. That's good for us. Now we're going to click OK, go next, and we're going to process this payslip. There it is now coming up, and we're then going to print this work that we've got. Print it, and we're good to go. Now we can click finish. We have our printout. We're happy. Move to finish. You'll notice that your process of payslip is now grayed out. You cannot process anymore unless you have an issue. You can clear it on flags. Anyway, we don't have a problem, so we're going to now process. Go to process, and we do a pay period update. Now move to the next period, which is week 2. Oops, 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 oops. Right. We'll go to next. And weekly period 1, click next. Backup must be done. Certainly we wanted the backup to be done. So go to the backup folder, and by default into payroll. And you'll notice that it will change to period 2 just now when we process. That's now it will become period 2. Just need to update. Okay, here it is, period 2. End date is 14th. We're good to go. Good thing about it is we have our backup. If there's a problem, we can restore, as I taught you in one of the clips. Go over that. It's important for you to learn. Now moving to process. So we're back again. We have come to realize a little error there, but it has been resolved. We now look at week 2, and we now have come to realize that Mr. Kalani does not work 40 hours, but rather in this particular period worked 38 hours. So here we have a little bit of an issue that we need to rectify. So the best way out of this here is to go to income and change it here as 38, and we'll have to override it. I'll explain to you why, which is a good experience for you. And that is because the rate per hour has changed to 150. So if I take 38 times 150, I will get 5,700 rands. So I need to override it and key in 5,700 rands, and you'll find, save it, hours. But we also had to do a calculation because this rate is incorrect. It went up to 150, and then we changed the, by default we leave it at 40, and we're then going to look at the overtime of 5 hours. Now here is an option that we could consider, and that's by overriding. What we can do is the following: function F9, which is going to give us the calculator, and we take 40 hours as default and multiply it by the new tariff per hour, which is 150. We got 6,000. Now you can go and capture the 6,000 there, and the result will be that your rate per hour will change to 150 rands. There it is. And here's the better news, is that that has now changed to 150. So this, let me explain to you, it could be a better way of doing things as opposed to the overriding. What I'm trying to say to you is that because the tariff per hour has increased, it's best to keep your quantity as 40, but do a multiplication. 40 times 150, you get 6,000 by overriding it. That will then change the rate to 150. Go back to income as we always did and change it to 38. And we won't have a problem at all. So I hope you've understood that. What I'm saying to you is that because the rate has changed from 120 to 150, you then recalculate this default hourly wage. Leave it at 40 as usual, times 150, which will calculate to get 6,000. That will allow it, that will make the rate change easier. So then back to normal. Now we've got 38, we're back to here, and we're gonna now look at the pension fund, which is 400 rands, and we've got now the loan, which is going to be the same, 1,500. If you recall, I mentioned to you about the staff saving. If you recall, we started off with an amount of 1.5, and we've now got a situation where it was 1,600, yes, and 400 rands, it makes it 2,000. If you look at the reducing balance of the leave, you remember it was 4,500. He paid 1.5, therefore the balance is 3,000. So it's reducing on its own. That hasn't changed. The Ganeshi order of 200 rands has now changed. So we're going to now make that slight change, 200 rands, and we're now there over that. And now he belongs to a staff association, or did he belong to a staff association in week 1? What was staff association, which was 1002, that stayed as it was. So nothing's changed there. The employee pension fund of 400, the employer contribution was the code 5205. Right off. Now here you have to be mindful that he slept 3 nights out, so you need to do the calculation, and the rate has changed. So we're going to get our onboard calculator F9 again. Comes to our rescue. So we're going to take 3 times 850, and you get 2,550, 2,550. So I'm going to change that night out to 2,550. and where he taken family responsibility from the 10th to the 12th due to a family member passing away. So here it is under leave. You will go now to leave, and here you will select family responsibility, right? And you're going to now put in key in the dates, which is from the 10th. Just key in the first day. That's it. The computer will calculate. The app will put in the month and the year. Then we got to the 12th, which is going to be 3 days, and it's also already calculated that figure for us. He took family responsibility leave from 10 to 12 March 2025 due to a family member passing away. Add a note to Pigalan for this leave here. Now, they don't mention about a payout of this for these 3 days. Now, that poses a bit of a problem because remember that is now equivalent of 3 days is an equivalent of 24 hours. And the question paper here says that he worked 38 hours. That's a bit of a schlep. Unfortunately, I in this case it puts you in a difficult position because although he's entitled to this leave here, because it's family responsibility, he's also can be paid in full. But he's also worked just 38 hours and he's supposed to by default work 40 hours. So he worked 38, it means he worked less hours, but at the same time, he is due 3 days. So out of the 5 days that he really is supposed to work, which is 40 hours, 15 hours have been taken as family responsibility. Now, the question paper does not mention of whether he should be paid or should not be paid. By law, if he did not exceed then the family responsibility entitlement, then he is entitled to be paid in full. So I'm going to click on here as payout, and I'm going to then click on save because that is 6410. If you remember, just to recap, it's already there. 912 is already there for us, and 9142 is also there. All I need to do is save the combination of the code of, okay, let's go and see what it is that we're talking about. 5002, we've got a combo here now. This is one of those schnaps that we can experience. Can you see all these codes now on my app has been duplicated, so I have to remove them, unfortunately. So I'm going to now delete this one here. I don't know whether it'll allow me my commission. So I have to remove this. I went to special bonus 5204 because you can see a special bonus there. Let me delete that. It was duplicated. Then we've got commission. Right, let's see. 5300 commission. I'm going to delete it. So allow it to make that error. Then we've got uniform commission night out. I think we are good. Let me see now by saving. So those two codes were duplicated and we're good to go. Sort of a schlep on the side of the app. These things happen, you don't need to stress about it. Fortunately, when you use this delete line feature here, it will take you and direct you to the duplication and you'll be able to see for yourself what it's all about. So let's go back again and we'll talk about this issue here, and that is the situation about the family responsibility. Remember that he is entitled to family responsibility leave, right? So he now got paid out for it. If you feel, if you are under the, if you feel that it's incorrect because they don't say that, it's fine. All you need to do is untick that there and save it. There. Now we're going to put the dates, which is from the 10th to the 12th. But this time we will not pay. So now go back to our default go back to our income, and if it appears their family responsibility, then what we'll do is delete it. Right. So what I'm saying to you is that if you're going by the question paper, yes, it says do not pay. It doesn't mention if we should pay. But by not mentioning we should pay, then you can assume it's now going to be unpaid for whatever reasons, I don't know. But there's no payout, so I did not tick it. And then I just went to remove that by way of example. Right, and we can now save this here. There's also a note that we need to attach to this employee. We're now ready to close it here, and I'm going to show you where you could put in the note. It's two ways, but I'm going to show you an option here, which is the edit employees. Go to Mr. Galane's master file, which is the best option here, I would think. Makes it life easier. And just waiting for it. And here you're going to find here, there's a little pen or pencil notes icon. Click on it. And we're now going to, the employee is going to, the code is 001 Picola. The subject here is leave taken. We can make up our own one. And the entry date there is going to be from the 12th to the 10th to 12th. And we're going to now state it here that P. Galani took family responsibility leave to passing away a family member. It is paid, provided he comes with proof by way of a death certificate, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. Anyway, no mention of payout, so we're going to leave that as it is. We will not take it as I stated, and you then can state the dates from 10th March 2025 to 13th March 2025. Right, and then you will save this. So this individual has a note that will get on his profile. Right, if you look at notes, it is there. If you need to search for it, you're going to find it. There's the leave taken, and there it is. So you're keeping a track also of leave that he has taken, and you got it formally in writing, so to speak. Go back again to our process of our payslips and be ready to just to confirm that everything is done. We're good to go. Remember our income was he only worked 38 hours. Supposed to work for 42 hours. That's not possible because he took 3 days family responsibility. Having said that, it's fine. There's no time to get further involved into a discussion with that, but there it is. And I said this is the best option one could do is to override it here. Leave the default as 40, new date of 150, override it there by calculating, and then automatically we just need to change the 40 to 38. We're good to go. We'll do the payroll run now, and we'll be working towards period 3, which also becomes a bit of an issue while we just getting this ready. Is that if you'll notice that week 3, Mr. Galane has decided to leave us and resign, but his resignation is only on the 31st, so which begs the question, what happens to week 4? Anyway, that's an issue on its own. You need to think about that. Certainly we are in no position to capture anything that's not stated in the question paper, but suffice is that we'll get to know that, just saving my document, that he has resigned, and therefore he needs these processes, and he also will have to get his annual leave paid to him. So based on that, we'll now come to the end of this particular clip. It was enlightening, it was encouraging. We're now going to just do a formal pay period update. If you remember, we click OK, coming to next. Okay, checks and transfers weekly. Got into period 2, soon it'll be it's back up, which is good. If you need to restore, we can restore. Just to refresh your memory, if you recall what you've done with the CS process, you'll remember it'll come to period 3 now, soon, which will be the 21st of March. And there it is, period 3, 21st of March. And we then ready to do week 3. But for this particular clip, it's been long, so we now need to come to the end of it. But just in passing, if you remember that if you want to restore, you just go to File, Restore. These are all the backups. The last one that we've just done is the period 2. So good news about it is it states here P1, P2. So you can then go ahead and restore the period that you wish to. Looking good, and thank you so much for listening. Remember, you have to practice to perfect your work, and also you have this time issue. And 45 minutes is not, certainly not a lot of luxury of time. I thank you for listening and hope all goes well for you.